Hello, it's Joseph again. Welcome to the second GalleryGear tutorial. In this part I show you how easy it is to install MODx and GalleryGear. Actually, the installation is quite fast, it will only take me a few minutes. And there is a reason why I also include the installation of MODx itself in this tutorial. I do the so-called advanced installation, because I want to move the MODx core out of the web root. This is really easy to do so, but what you gain from it is huge. I tell you in a few seconds. Before we go on, head down to MODx.com and download the most recent build of MODx Revolution. There are two installation types. Download the advanced installation. By the way, GalleryGear works with both. Only moving the core directory is not possible with the traditional one. And then you need of course the GalleryGear package. For those on YouTube, the link is down below. Now I've got both on my desktop. To speed things up, I won't use a real web server on the internet, but use one that is installed locally instead. The process, however, stays exactly the same. Now let's take a closer look at what I have here. On my desktop there is a folder called Online Storage. This folder represents the storage you have on your web server. In there is a folder called My Site Name. You should really organize your files on your server in a similar way, because this makes it easy to have multiple domains. And in the My Site Name folder there is a folder called webroot. My local server uses that folder as its root directory. If that was on a real web server, your web hoster would give you the option to set the directory where your domain points to. This is what I'm trying to simulate here. Let it point to the webroot directory. If you want to test that locally yourself, the links for MAMP for the Mac and XAMPP for Windows are down below. I start with extracting the MODx folder and moving it to the web server into the webroot. Depending on your internet connection, this can take quite a while if you're uploading it to a real web server on the internet. Basically, you can divide MODx into two parts, the core stuff and the other stuff. The core stuff is all in one folder, the core folder. These are mostly system files, but in there is also the components folder in which many third-party components are installed. At the end of this tutorial, you'll find GalleryGear in this folder, or to be more precise, a part of it, namely its brain. With the other stuff, I don't really mean the setup directory here, because we'll delete that after the installation. But I mean 3 folders and 3 files which will be created by the setup and which are obviously not there yet. The main difference between the core stuff and the non-core stuff is that there is not a single file in the core folder that needs to be accessed directly from the web browser. And since this is so, you should store that folder out of the user's reach so that they don't open files you don't want them to. Quite simple, isn't it? I select it and move it out of the web root. Now go to your web browser. I type in localhost /4 times the 8. You should type in your domain name here and then /setup. MODx shows that it doesn't find the core folder, so I adjust the path. This is really all you have to do to move the core folder. I won't waste your time with the installation here. Simply follow the instructions and everything should be fine. Just one thing, for the database I always choose the character sets UTF-8 and UTF-8_general_CI. And there we are in the MODx backend. Now let's install GalleryGear. Go to the core folder. Take the GalleryGear zip and move it into the packages folder. Before we go on, I'd like to mention a few things. Go to the webroot. There is an ht.access file in there. I won't do that now, but you should rename that file to .htaccess. This is a settings file for the server and it has a line in there which will enable URL rewriting. After that you can go to the MODx settings, search for friendly URLs and turn them on. This way, your users will get much nicer URLs in their browser toolbar. And there is one more thing in there. If MODx complains that register globals is turned on, you can uncomment the line down there to turn it off manually. Basically, register globals is a great security risk. You really don't want it to have it enabled. Google it if you want to learn more about it. And one last thing, go to the core folder. And there is the config folder, in which there is a file called config.inc.php. If you are on a real web server, you should change its file permissions to read only, and you should really back it up immediately. It basically contains all the important settings for MODx. Now go back to the web browser. Go to the package management. Click Add New Package. Search locally. It says that we have to put the packages into the packages folder. This is what I just did. Now GalleryGear appears in the list. Click Install. And yeah, that's it. GalleryGear runs now on your web server. Click Refresh. You can go to the photo manager by clicking Components and then GalleryGear. This was Joseph with the second part of the GalleryGear tutorial series. See you in the next part. Bye bye.